How's it going, guys? My name is John, and welcome to my Starwarsnut77 show. This is going to be a video response to a good friend of mine here in the YouTube community. His name is Mike, goes by the YouTuber filmmaker Mike. Absolutely check him out. Awesome guy. Love his reviews, love his opinions on a lot of great things. But he recently posted a video saying his thoughts about the Man of Steel, the new Superman movie, how he absolutely loved it. It was the best thing since sliced bread, it sounded like, and he had seen it like 4 times in theaters, and Mike is one of those guys, super positive, and I love that about him, and that's why I think his channel is successful, and that's awesome. And he brought up a lot of good points about the show, and special effects being amazing, which they were, and the story for the most part was pretty decent as well. But there were a lot of parts of things I wanted to share with you, my thoughts about the Man of Steel movie. I haven't seen it 4 times in theaters, so I don't have that going for me. But I will say I am familiar with Superman in the sense that I haven't necessarily read every single comic book by Superman. I'm sure many of us have not read every single comic book by Superman, or that features Superman rather. But I have read a large fair share of Superman comics. I've seen every movie, a Superman movie, including Superman Returns, which wasn't that great either. I'd also seen every episode of Lois and Clark Superman, the TV show back in the 90s, as well as the first 7 seasons of Smallville, and I'm working through the last 3. So, and I love Smallville. I actually get careful. I really like that show, and I like Lois and Clark Superman, and I thought that was a great show. So it's safe to say I do know enough about Superman to base my opinions surrounding this reboot, and I understand it's a reboot, Man of Steel. Before I even saw Man of Steel movie, a buddy of mine came to me and said it was the best. It was better than the Dark Knight series, and that, to me, I love the Dark Knight. I mean, the trilogy is brilliant. And so I had a lot of hype going into it. It broke records for opening weekend. I think it did over $200 million. So this is my thoughts about Man of Steel. Now, before I start, there are going to be some spoilers. So if you have not seen Man of Steel yet, and you guys don't want to be spoiled on some of the plot points of it, I encourage you guys to watch this after you've seen the movie. So you've been warned. So what I liked, I'll first off by saying what I liked about Man of Steel. I really liked the special effects. I thought the special effects were amazing. I really liked the actor who played Superman. I thought he did a great job, and I thought he was a believable character. I thought the story was okay. I thought it was really cool that they kind of, at the very beginning of the movie, they showed kind of the birth of Kal-El and on Krypton, and how he, the planet was blowing up, and the parents, took Superman and sent him to Earth, whatnot. I thought that was kind of cool, the backstory of it all. And I like the fact that Zod was the main villain. It's nice that they didn't just go with Lex Luthor, which is probably one of the more famous villains in Superman, in the life over the world of Superman, right? So that was cool. But things I don't like about the movie. A lot of the points in the movie really didn't add up to me. For example, for the very beginning, when Zod got banished from Krypton, why would they banish him from Krypton if Krypton was about to blow up? So they're going to die, so they're going to send Zod with his guys to a ship and send him away. Why? He created heresy and did try to take over the government. So why would they do that? And then the planet ends up blowing up, and then Zod and his crew were released. So that didn't make much sense to me. I don't understand why that happened. Also, one thing that really annoyed me was the fact that Lois Lane knew Clark Kent as Superman. One thing I think is really important about Superman is the fact that he lives a double life. That people that he has Clark Kent and he has Superman, right? He lives a kind of double life in the sense that he loves Lois Lane, Clark loves Lois Lane, but Lois Lane loves Superman. And there's that kind of that thing, that hurdle he has to go over, because she's absolutely in love with Superman, but he has to kind of go through the fact that he sees Clark Kent. And in this movie, like, she knows right away that he's Clark is Superman. I thought that was a huge story arc. That I thought that was a big mistake, to be honest with you. And it took away from the relationship, in my opinion, between Lois and Clark, because that's something throughout the comics and the movies and everything else. He kind of plays as a nerd as Clark, and we didn't really see much of Clark himself in this movie. And granted, at the very end, he signs up with the Daily Planet, and I'm sure in the next movie we'll see him more as Clark Kent. But we really didn't see him much as Clark, the guy with the glasses and suit and tie and whatnot. So we didn't really see any of that. And they only refer to the word Superman, I think, once in the movie, which is interesting, which I think was actually pretty cool. But I understand this is kind of pretty cool, and they're kind of rebooting the series. But another thing I really didn't care for about Man of Steel is there was too much fighting at the end. I felt that between him and Zod and the Zod guys, the bad guys, I can't recall their names, but there's just like it was over the top. I mean, go through buildings and flying and you know, going, and it was like, I felt like the movie should have ended like 3 or 4 times before it got to the end. But those are just some of my gripes about the new Man of Steel. Now, am I saying don't go see it? No, absolutely not. I'm probably saying see it on Netflix, if anything. But it's a decent movie for what it is. But I just want to see a better Superman movie because I love Superman as a character. I think they could have done a lot better, especially with what they did with The Dark Knight and rebooted Batman. They should have done the same with Man of Steel and Superman. So that's my opinion, guys. Put a video response below as well, or let me know your comments. I appreciate you guys' support. Thumbs up this video. We'll guys see you soon. Take care.